my Lord and my God. I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon of my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. Well, the Gospel reading of today's Mass that we are going to pray with is a little bit cryptic in places, and I'm going to just take 3 lines from it and we'll try to pray with it. Jesus says in the Gospel, if they have called the master of the house Beelzebul, what will they not say of his household? Beelzebul is an ancient diabolical kind of figure, and so Jesus is saying to us, well, if they call me the devil, what would they say about you? You, Jesus, who are God, who in your life in Israel always showed yourself the most kind, caring, loving, patient person who ever walked the earth. And yet that did not stop those who hated you from condemning you as a blasphemer and a rebel and saying everything and all kinds of things about you. And so it's true what you say to us, that if they say that about you, well then in our case, where they have much more kind of excuses for really saying nasty things, they may well say them. Remember on the way to the cross that Jesus said, if this is what they do to the green wood, Jesus being the green wood, what would they do to the dry wood, you and me being the dry wood? In other words, if we really are followers of Christ, you could take out a bet with the bookies that you are sure to win, that people will make some kind of false claims about you, that there will be criticisms made about you, that you are intolerant, that maybe you're even a bit of a danger to others because of your strange and intolerant Christian beliefs. So you go down now to the bookies and take out a bet, and you will win some stage. Don't be surprised. But we have to stay faithful. Don't run away from Jesus just because what he teaches is not always the flavor of the month. In this time of prayer, let's ask Jesus for courage. We constantly get in the Masses examples, almost every day of the year, examples of martyrs that the Church celebrates. Over the past while, we've had all kinds of martyrs, St. Maria Goretti, recently with the proto-martyrs of Rome. We had Irenaeus, we had St. Thomas More. So a whole host of Peter and Paul, obviously. We have a whole host of martyrs. And these martyrs are really good examples for us. And I think that's why the Church very often celebrates the Feast of the Martyrs. The Church is always saying, look here, look at this martyr, look at this example of this person, this man, this woman, this young girl, this older person, this group of people. And that is exactly what the Church is doing today. Because it shows up for us, for example, a group of martyrs from China. St. Augustine Zhao Rong and his companions, martyrs. Now I may have that wrong, I may have that pronounced wrong. But anyway, this feast commemorates 120 martyrs, 87 of whom were native Chinese, and 33 of whom were Western missionaries. And they were killed in the 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th centuries. And so they've been canonized and declared martyrs by the Church. So they're a great example for us. We have also in today's Gospel a line where Jesus says to us, encourages us actually. He says, do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Jesus, how well you know that sometimes we're just so afraid. Maybe I'm so afraid of what my friends might say if they found out that I'm even a practicing Catholic. What my colleagues at work might start thinking if when they're discussing, maybe critically, some aspect of the Church's teaching and criticizing it, and then they find that, in fact, I don't hold their opinion. Or maybe it is that I'm so afraid that I just suddenly develop a very sore throat and I lose my voice and I can't say anything when my colleagues start talking about something. Well, we are put to shame sometimes by these martyrs. Today's martyrs, this group of 120 martyrs, includes a 79-year-old man and a child of just 9 years old. And they were very courageous. All of those martyrs could have found a way of kind of wheedling out of being martyred. Will your friends or your colleagues at work drag you off to the lines? I don't think so. Maybe you have a very difficult work environment, but normally they're not. They might frown at you or tut-tut, but that's hardly much of a martyrdom. And think also what those martyrs won because they overcame their fear. They're now in heaven, waiting for the resurrection. They have a particular glory in heaven because of their martyrdom. And for all eternity, their martyrdom will be like a crown on their heads. Everybody will see, and you and I, with the grace of God, we say, look, there's a martyr, the special crown, as it were, on their head. They're marked out for all eternity as somebody particularly worthy of our honor. Help me, Jesus, to love my soul more than my popularity or my status. Help me not to be so afraid of what people will think about me or what they will say about me. And what will happen if you say something, well, like, I'm a Catholic and I love my faith. Just simple. And besides, then you will be an inspiration for others. Some of those listening, maybe friends or work colleagues listening to you, might be thinking to themselves, well, there's somebody who doesn't stay very quiet and cowardly. That person is an encouragement for me. And literally encouragement, because to encourage is to literally give courage, put courage into another person. One of the saints that we're celebrating today is that one whom is named, especially St. Augustine Zhao Rong. And he began his professional life as a soldier. He wasn't a Christian. And he, in fact, as part of his military duties, he was assigned to escort a French priest who was a missionary, Father Dufresne. And he had been working in China and he was being brought to prison where he would eventually be martyred. And Augustine, the soldier, was assigned to escort him. But he was so impressed by the holy patience of this priest that he decided that he wanted to convert to Catholicism. And so Augustine became a Catholic. He was ordained a priest. And very soon afterwards, he was jailed, tortured, and martyred. And the two of them, we also celebrate today Father Saint Dufresne. So very nice, the two of them. But Augustine is there because he's so inspired by the courage and bravery of Father Dufresne. Our third little line from Jesus is this: so if anyone declares himself for me in the presence of men, I will declare myself for him in the presence of my Father in heaven. But the one who disowns me in the presence of men, I will disown in the presence of my Father in heaven. They, Jesus, are strong words. Maybe when you said them, you were thinking of Peter, who would actually go on to disown you when he was questioned on the night of Holy Thursday in the courtyard of the house of Caiaphas, if you remember, by the servant girl and by some of those bystanders who were there, where they were asking him, are you one of this man's disciples? And poor Peter was, excuse the pun, petrified. And he denied that he even knew you 3 times. Maybe you or I have done this at some stage. Well, it's very encouraging for us to see how easy Jesus makes it for Peter to undo that denial later on. If you remember, Jesus asks Peter 3 times, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? One act of love to make up for each act of denial. Jesus, I don't ever want to deny you, least of all in public. And if I ever do that, please come after me and help me to declare my love for you again, like St. Peter, and to make up. I give you thanks, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.